Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today, August 24th, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and we are back to business here. It is Monday morning. It is bright. It is sunny. It's a hot one in the Wisconsin area. I don't know about you, Linda. Good morning, Linda K., by the way. I don't know about you, Linda. It was smoking hot. I saw readings of 90 around here.
Yes. Well, we are just off the heels of the biggest party of the summer, Summerslam. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it was hot at Summerslam as well. There was a play on words in there that I was working towards, so thank you for helping me get there. But yeah, on the heels of it being the hottest pay-per-view of the WWE year, except for Royal Rumble, we are smoking hot here in Milwaukee and Appleton, Wisconsin areas. Yeah, it was plus 90. We were in the pool a good portion of the day yesterday. So let's talk a lot. We have a lot to go over. We have SummerSlam in the books. We have title changes. We have appearances. We have injury update on Karrion Kross, the new NXT heavyweight champion. Where do you want to start?
I guess we should start with the injury with Karrion Kross, just because, we just had NXT 30 or TakeOver 30, and now this news. That's crazy.
It's eerily similar to what happened to Finn Balor when Finn came up to the Raw brand, won the Universal title, the first ever Universal champion, hurt in the match, had to drop it the next day. Let us hope that they're not going to drop that belt come Wednesday. Karrion Kross hurt in the match, in the title match against Keith Lee, and I think this is a pretty telling sign. If Keith Lee wasn't going to Raw, and they said there was an injury to Karrion Kross, there's a chance that he might have to drop and Keith might have to earn it back. The fact that during SummerSlam last night we got the message that Keith Lee is heading to Raw, I think Karrion Kross is going to be okay, and he's going to take over that brand for a while.
I hope so. After that huge win against Keith Lee and just the push they've had behind him, that would really bluntly put suck if he can't continue his title reign. He's just got so much momentum behind him.
Yeah, and even Keith Lee losing, going immediately to Raw 2 days later is the exact right thing to do, because you know what? The loss becomes distant memory.
Right.
So Karrion Kross, the new NXT champion, Dave Hero, having him in the PWR draft, got a proverbial buttload of points off of that. So David Hero scoring huge points off of that. We got PWR draft updates coming up as well, Linda. And I don't know if you want to stay on the program for that or you're just going to disappear into the distance with that, but we got draft updates as well. So Karrion Kross, new NXT champion. Now let us talk about SummerSlam. The first match that was on the kickoff show, the only match on the kickoff show, hour-long kickoff show with one match, was MVP and Apollo Crews. No title changing there. Apollo Crews winning his match and keeping the United States Championship. Your thoughts on the Hurt Business not being allowed to participate in what was going on?
Well, I mean, that obviously did not help them. They usually find a way to help out their leader, MVP, but obviously they weren't there with the assist, if you will, tonight or last night. So, we got Apollo Crews retaining, but I was wondering which way this would go, just because MVP is so good with his mic skills, and his in-ring skills. But does this mean that the Hurt Business is gonna get back into the Raw Underground scene a little bit more? Because it made it look like they were taking that over a couple weeks ago, and then we didn't see them back there, and then it just got back to the whole thing with Apollo, which Apollo Crews won. So does that mean the Hurt Business then goes after somebody else now, a different title? I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, Shelton Benjamin in the Hurt Business is still technically the 24/7 champion today, but R-Truth may have to get his baby back this week.
Yes.
Like a plate of baby back ribs.
Of course.
All right, first official match on the SummerSlam card last night was going to be match 1 of 2 for Auska. Were they ready for Auska? Well, the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley was ready as she beats Auska due to little shenanigans in there. But Bayley defeats Auska, defends the title, and remains the SmackDown Women's Champion. Approximately 340 some days now she has held that belt. She is closing in on 1 year as a SmackDown Women's Champion. Your thoughts on Auska losing match 1 of 2 on SummerSlam?
Well, I went into last night thinking that Auska was going to win one of the titles. I just felt the whole Sasha and Bayley dissension happening the way SmackDown, was kind of leaning towards Corey Graves instigating or kind of, going forth. Like we're noticing there's something, going on between the two of you, some type of dissension. They're like, no, but you just kind of knew that this was going to happen again because it was going to happen, or it seemed like it was going to, a while back ago, but then they started winning the belts, and then this new chemistry and this new push, and they were just leading the scene with everything on all 3 brands. So with SummerSlam giving Auska a chance to possibly win a title from both of them, I just went in thinking one of them was gonna lose to Auska, and we saw at the very beginning that Bayley did not, but there was some help, shenanigans if you will, from Sasha. So come match 2 for them, you would think that Bayley would have returned the favor. And I know we'll get into this in a little bit, but she didn't. So that kind of showed me, okay, this is probably the way they're going to go. We're finally going to get this split between the golden role models. So Bayley retaining, that's kind of cool. That's cool to see. It's been a year for her now, since winning it last year at SummerSlam. I think she's, still great she's got a great mouthpiece, still a great in-ring performer. She's got a lot she's going to have to deal with the next couple weeks with Sasha, though.
Sure. I have a question. Did I see this on SummerSlam, or did I see this on WWE Network, or where did I see this? Bayley's like in her late 30s?
I didn't know that.
Double check my work, folks, but I thought I saw something along the lines of Bayley is like 37.
No,
I mean,
really?
Wow. Because just a year ago, she took on the, as Dave Hero calls it, the Karen look. Bayley was doing the whole ponytail thing. Was she doing that in her 30s? Because she was making it look like she was 19.
Yeah, she was a hugger.
She was a hugger. I mean, I'm into huggers. Don't get me wrong, but wow, she wears it well, and that's kind of where the wow comes from. But holy smokes! Speaking of smoke, and I planned that, by the way. Wink, wink. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, defeat Andrade and Angel Garza. I didn't plan that, folks. I just played it off like I did. The team of Andrade and Angel Garza, featuring Zelina Vega, your 15 appearance points for the entire show. Matter of fact, I think it was the entire weekend. The Raw Tag Team Champions, Street Profits, defeat them, and I really, honestly was hoping for Andrade and Garza to win the belts here.
Well, I figured there would be some shenanigans involving Zelina, just because anytime I see her come out in either wrestling boots or flat boots instead of her usual awesome, super high heels, I thought that Bianca Belair was going to come out and there would be some type of shenanigans. So I felt that Zelina would be involved in some fashion, but I didn't think it was going to be where it would cost them. Well, I mean, yeah, it did cost them the tag titles, simply because Andrade kept all his time and attention, and with her falling at ringside and not being able to help his partner in the ring, and here we go again. So
you're saying that Hogan went to help Elizabeth, leaving Macho Man to get beat up by the Boss Man and Team the African Dream.
Exactly.
Because that's really what that is. That's the Mega Power meltdown right there. Unfortunately, Andrade and Garza were never a Mega Power, and they've been melting down since day one.
Day one-ish.
Day one-ish. You like that? That was also unintentional.
But yeah, I love the Street Profits. So, I mean, it's great to see them.
I love the cups. Yeah. I mean, you know what?
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
That was fantastic. It's exploding cups everywhere.
Right. Now that we've got the Thunderdome, obviously we've got back pyro, more lasers, more lights.
Whose job is that? Who is the guy that is loading up mini solo cups into a gimmick 100 feet off the ground?
I don't know. What I was thinking
it's not an actual question. It's a hypothetical. Who on the crew says, you know what? We're gonna get Bobby to go up there and load the the cup machine?
Well, I mean, they got to find a way to get the cups back to the audience. Now that we do have fans back in the arena, this is a way for the cups to get dispersed like before.
Okay. All right. Winners and still champions on the Raw side, the tag team champions, the Street Profits. A match I was interested in. Actually, again, I've said this to you, and I said this on this very platform a few times already. The look Sonya Deville had over the last handful of months was working for me. I really was invested in Sonya Deville. Mandy Rose defeating Sonya Deville in a no disqualification loser leaves WWE match. Mandy Rose wins. Her boy Otis came down, gave Damian Nelson some appearance points with his Money in the Bank briefcase. But Sonya Deville is done, technically, and she's out of WWE. Your thoughts?
Well, we talked about this last week about what she had to deal with in real life.
At the house, yeah.
Right. And then on SmackDown last weekend, the match stipulation changed. It was supposed to be a hair versus hair match, and all of a sudden became, and they mentioned it on, to some extent on SmackDown about what happened to her. And, and then now the match stipulation is one of them has to leave WWE. So it made me think and already feel that Sonya was going to be on her way out, only because, maybe she's got some real life stuff that she has to deal with for the time being. And I thought about, Mandy still, being involved with Otis, and, he still has the briefcase. And I just was like, if this is going to be the new stipulation, I just felt that Sonya has some other stuff in real life to deal with. And, that played out on SummerSlam when we saw her lose to Mandy Rose. And now, anytime there's a match where it's a career ending or, the person has to leave WWE match, we know they can always make their way back. So,
of course.
If Sonya does have to deal with, this negative stuff in real life, then I hope things do come around for her. And, I do hope she is back, because she has definitely grown on a lot of people. You and I both were just talking about how talented she is, and just her promos and her look and just what she had going for her. Yeah.
And during the week last week, I decided to go dig and figure out why they were friends. They were on the same season of Tough Enough.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I knew that. I
knew it, but I didn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew it because I did shoot a promo for that, and I did attempt to try to get on that season of Tough Enough, but I didn't make it. But I do remember that, so I did watch that season intently, and I do remember them being good friends. So yeah. Yeah,
that was the season with Zaza. And who else was on that season that was pretty prominent? The Yeti won that one, and he didn't actually make it. Mata, I believe, was on that, right? I think he was Indian, and I don't mean Native American. I mean like from India.
I don't know. I just remember.
The reason I say Mata is because Mata is no longer wrestling, but if you look in some of the movies that we watch, he was in Aquaman. He was in Birds of Prey. Matter of fact, I'm wearing, it's Sunday, so I'm wearing my heavyweight hero Shad Gaspard shirt. Mm-hmm. He was in there as well. Shad and Mata were in that movie. So big, lumbering guys, they play heavies in these movies. So the season that I really couldn't believe that a lot of people popped from was the season before that. That was the one that was at the Broken Skull Ranch. Velveteen Dream was in that season.
I got to watch back some of these.
Yeah, they're all on the network. Dig into them.
All right, will do.
All right, back into SummerSlam here.
Yes.
Seth Rollins defeats Dominic Mysterio in a street fight. Dominic, amazing. If that really is your first match, I know you've been practicing, training, whatever you want to call it. You looked good, kid. You looked real good. And you know what? If you were to disappear and, go train at NXT or whatever, maybe even throw on a mask 6 months from now, I'd have no problem with that at all. I think he's on his way.
I agree. He's got some size. He showed he had some ups. We saw the frog splash, and I just
frog splashes.
Yes, we did, and 619s as well. Yeah, I thought he did a great job as well. Like this weekend we saw two great in-ring, or at least televised in-ring debuts, and Dominic did not disappoint as well. That match really surprised me. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. I will say I am a little bummed that Dominic did not come up with the win, just because I'm so sick of Seth Rollins torturing Rey Mysterio. I thought
Yeah.
this was going to be the end. I mean, he already took his eye out. I mean, for goodness
Tried to
sakes,
take Dominic's side too.
Yeah.
Murphy did. I want to speak
Murphy
a little
got.
bit about that though.
Uh,
After the beating and the lashes that Dominic took and gave obviously back to Seth Rollins, did we have to do it again on the pay-per-view? Did we have to do more Kane shots? I I don't need them. I don't want them. We were good.
Well, I mean, it was the street fight, and we knew, which made me feel that Dominic had more of the advantage because it wasn't a traditional match.
Right.
Obviously, Seth Rollins had much more experience, but I mean, I was expecting to see the kendo stick, and obviously that's, a big part of the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see the handcuffs, but obviously we're saying those were completely legal in this match, and it set up a way for Ray to watch his son get beaten right in front of his eyes, or eye, excuse me, eye.
Yeah. Match number 2 for Auska, defeating Sasha Banks to become the new Raw Women's Champion. So technically, she got her belt back that she was given by Becky Lynch. Because remember, Auska won the Money in the Bank and then found out that the Money in the Bank briefcase had the Raw Women's title in it because she's cooking buns in her oven. That's got to be coming soon. I mean, because that happened in April. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We're here in August, 4 months later, and she had to be about 4 months ish around there. So we got to assume that Becky's going to be popping that bun any day now.
Right. So
excited to see. Excited for her. Excited for Seth. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I do want to gloat a little. If I had a scenario that was going to work out best for me draft wise, Linda, this was the one. Let Auska lose to Sasha because nobody has Sasha. Or I let her lose to Bayley because I had Bayley, but nobody has Sasha, and defeat Sasha. Just dollar bill, y'all. This is a title win for me. I picked up a massive amount of points on this one. It's just not fair.
Right.
It's getting old. I feel guilty. I'm telling you, I feel guilty. I really do feel bad that I want to make it more even. We were just talking about still smoking, and the ET stuff that we were talking about earlier, you and me.
Yeah.
And the whole scene that he does in the beginning where he goes, should I put a scar on my face to make it even for the other actors? It's hurting. It's I wish. But let's move on. I digress.
Well, I was gonna say one thing though about the
Sure.
that I love Sasha, but I was fine with Asuka getting it back just because Sasha won the title from Asuka on Raw via countout, which just
it was silly.
Kind of and I know it was a way to send off to Kyrie, but Payback is next weekend, which which I know we were discussing this about who Sasha and Bayley are even going to face at the pay-per-view. We don't know.
Kyrie come back? I mean, for one match?
No, because if they win, or Kabuki Warriors win, I mean...
Right. So who's the payback for is what I'm wondering.
Right.
And we'll get to the last two matches here in just a second. But first off, WWE Champion Drew McIntyre defeats Randy Orton. I know that the experts, and I'm going to call Dave and Shane the experts, and Damian, well, yeah, he's kind of an expert too. I know the experts probably had, because I didn't see this part. They did 2 hours. I was not able to get to the entire. When they say super show, it's a super show. I couldn't get to all 2 hours, but I didn't get to see the booking, how they booked Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. They probably had Randy Orton winning. I actually had Drew winning because you know what this was? This was his first title defense in a quote unquote real arena.
Yeah, I was thinking out loud about how this, I felt I was happy for him, even though, there still technically weren't fans in the stands, but it was the first time you could get a real entrance since being champion and holding that title in an arena. That felt good. So that was nice to see for him.
So, like I said, Randy Orton was one of the best things going, but Drew McIntyre needed to get that, and he kind of chewed up Randy Orton as the, this monster heel. So you get to put that notch on your belt. Drew McIntyre does. The main
Right. I
event.
mean,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No,
I
no,
was
go
going to
ahead.
say that, I was expecting an RKO out of nowhere, which we almost got, with the match ending in a backslide. Okay, I'll still take it because there was a lot going on in the sequence right before that backslide pin. But,
Yeah.
yeah, but, just seeing their faces at the end of the match too, like, it was good. I was happy for Drew. I too thought Randy Orton was going to come away with the win, but it was nice to see Drew. Um,
He got what
you
he
know,
should have got a while ago.
yeah, and with all the legends that Randy has quote unquote killed lately, Drew did this for them, so
Yeah.
that was nice to see
So he
too.
gets all that steam, really, because Randy, vanquished this legend and that legend, whatever, and now defeating cleanly Randy Orton,
Yes,
he should get all of that to go towards him and push him forward, kind of catapult him forward. Let's talk main
absolutely.
event. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, the Monster, Braun Strowman, in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal Championship. Where's Alexa Bliss?
Exactly. Excuse me, Miss Bliss. I could have used more points. An appearance point. I was expecting some appearance points from Alexa, but
So
yeah,
was I.
yeah, but I was disappointed. I really thought she would have something to do with Braun losing the title. I thought that the Fiend would come out with the win, which we know he did. But yeah, all that leading up to this with Alexa, and then she wasn't even here. It's crazy.
Crazy indeed. The Fiend winning. I like the entrances. I swear, I thought Alexa Bliss was going to show up. Something was going to happen to Braun, and he was going to say it's not my fault because, dude, he looks like Gene Snitsky.
Yes.
I've been meaning to get that on air and on tape. I finally got it out, but it's been bugging me for about, 2 weeks since he shaved his
He
head.
shaved his head. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not my fault.
I mean, and they've been making Braun seem more as the heel ever
Yeah.
since he left the swamp anyway. So
I
I
thought
thought
they
that
had
was
a good
good.
dynamic going there where a little bit of the Fiend leaked into Braun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And by the way, on SmackDown this last Friday, I love that our boy Scrap Daddy AP
Yes.
keeps having the camera centered on him to start with everything that he's got going on. In the background, he's like the
Yeah.
lead agent. Apparently, that's the way
Yes.
they pointed out. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the ambulance and he got that close up of that shock and awe look from
yeah,
SmackDown.
Scrap
But yeah,
Daddy
but
AP,
oh yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
Pearce, Milwaukee legend. So that was the pay per view, but
Oh,
we
well,
forgot to mention
I
one
failed
thing.
to. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was going to mention, after the match.
yeah, we're getting there.
Sure.
That was the pay per view, but we forgot to mention one thing. A gentleman, a young man, who is a real up and comer, returned at the end of
Whoa.
SummerSlam. His name, Roman Reigns. Wow. Roman
Yes.
Reigns looking good, looking real good. I don't need you to pat your shirt a few times to let us know that you have a new merchandise, but we can see your new merchandise, and he speared everybody. His trash talk was a little weird. You're not a monster unless I make you a monster. Huh? What? That don't make any sense. He's the monster among men. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I did notice he kept saying, "This has always been mine. This is always going to be mine." But then he got back into this other odd thing. So is this a heel return or is this just
High
I
energy,
got my
high
title
energy
shot?
return. That's what it is.
Really? Well, he also, he never got his title shot at WrestleMania because he opted out,
Well,
and then
and
Braun won
we
it.
cannot judge somebody that opted out.
Yes.
He is a
Yeah,
high
I
risk
thought.
person who is a leukemia survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he opted out,
Yes.
so he's back. Welcome home. Glad to see you. Get to work. I mean, really, it's time. We needed you. We're ready to have you. Let's get to work. So Braun loses to the Fiend. Fiend is now champion. Roman Reigns attacks both. But again, if you were really going for the belt, who cares about Braun then? Braun lost. He doesn't have the belt anymore.
Right.
There's been some question that we saw Otis carrying a briefcase, why Otis didn't cash in tonight. Absolutely not. Keep Otis away from all of that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, when I noticed somebody charging into the ring, I mean, obviously Roman and Otis don't look the same, but in my mind, I thought
Wait a minute.
about
They
the
don't? I used to
no.
think they were twins. Roman Reigns and Otis have the same body.
But for a split second there, I was thinking too, like, oh, maybe it was a cash in. You know what I mean? Just for a split second, and then he was wearing all black. I'm like, this, um, oh my God, they called.
Retribution.
Thank you. I was thinking retaliation.
It's yeah, I need to
Um,
retaliate against Retribution because it's
yeah.
not good TV.
Yeah, but no, but anyways, they weren't there. That was great. They didn't need to be. We didn't need to stir up trouble at SummerSlam.
Right.
But yes, but it was a great way to bring Roman Reigns back, like you said. So is like you said, he didn't need to go after Braun, but yet he did, and now he's standing above the Fiend.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what is for the pay-per-view? What did we never see coming? Was it that Braun was going to cut the ring open? Was it Roman showing up? Is that what we never saw coming, or Randy not winning?
It was Roman and the backslide, because Randy never saw that coming.
Okay. So that's what we didn't see coming. And then this coming Sunday, the payback. Who's getting payback?
Maybe it's, we did see a lot of title changes this weekend. Okay. Maybe.
Well, and let's talk about that on Friday real quick. I thought it was going to be for SummerSlam, which again would have been more points for me, but it happened on SmackDown. Jeff Hardy, new Intercontinental Champion.
Right.
I thought they'd have a rematch or at least a pre-show. Go at it again.
That's what I thought that would happen, because I thought the United States Championship would take place during SummerSlam, because that was a match that's been hyped up for several weeks now.
Yes.
And said it was in the pre-show, and I was like, okay, but it would have been nice to have seen Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles.
Yeah. Which, congratulations. Glad to see Jeff Hardy got it. You knew it was going that way. It was the redemption story, basically. He, had his 3 matches with Sheamus, got over on that. Then, finally he's going with AJ Styles, and he's going to end up getting that belt. So we knew that was coming. Right. We got a lot of wrestling still to come. Coming up next week, WWE Payback. Just unbelievable. And again, we didn't really even talk AEW this week, because yesterday Saturday on AEW, there was a title change as well. Your man, Mr. Brody Lee, is the new TNT TV champion, to mention everything else that happened.
Right. I mean, I didn't get points because technically it was not a pay-per-view, but that was nice to see, because, we said All Out's coming up soon. So
All Out is coming up. Yep.
Think Mr. Brody Lee would be defending that there, unless something crazy happens. And I think Dynamite's on Thursday this week. Obviously, we know because of basketball, but I believe it is Thursday night Dynamite.
And I believe it's a live Dynamite this week.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let's talk PWR Draft real quick. And again, Linda, this isn't to rub it in, because I do care. I really do care. Let's talk the 2 things that really happened. There was NXT points over the weekend, and there were SummerSlam points. NXT, the big winner was Dave Hero with 110 points because of the title win. He would have had more, but Dave Hero had the main event on NXT and on SummerSlam. He had Braun, Bray, Karrion, Keith Lee. Okay, so he kind of was just hedging his bets, but literally he was going to lose the title somewhere or whatever. So Dave Hero with 110 points on Saturday night. Damian Nelson and Andrew Baydala scoring points with 55 each. I had 45 from 3 appearances. You didn't score on NXT, but on SummerSlam, Linda, I was the big winner again. 350 points, setting a new season high, as I won 340 points at WWE Money in the Bank. I won 350 points last night at SummerSlam. I had 3 title defenses, 1 title win, and a bunch of appearances. David Hero with a title win from Bray Wyatt, or the Fiend, at 175. Damian Nelson scoring 110 points. Andrew scored 0 points. He had no one at the pay-per-view, and you only got the 1 appearance for 15. So over the weekend, I literally scored 395 points. Dave Hero had 285 points. Damian with 165 points. Andrew had 55, and you had 15. The new totals. I lead now 1,335 points. Dave Hero had 895. Damian at 715. Andrew Baydala at 575. And Linda, You are holding up the rest of us underneath at 535 points. I'm going to call this a third of the way.
Well, I'm not too far in last place from fourth place.
There's points. There's Royal Rumble
payback.
Wins.
There's payback right this weekend. So
yeah, there's a payback this weekend. You got to get performers on the show.
Yeah, we don't know who's even going to be on there, but that starts there, and then we got All Out, and then we've got some other pay-per-views. And
All Out is a double point show, by the way.
There we go.
All Out. We're gonna have another video for Damian, Dave, and Shane coming up this Thursday during the Super Show. So there'll be a point update and a preview for WWE's Payback. Again, next week we will have AEW's All Out as well. We have got a lot of wrestling action coming up. Linda, last words before we move on here.
This has been a wild weekend of wrestling, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it's been a pleasure discussing both pay-per-views with you.
Thank you. It's a lover boy there. You're loving every minute of it.
Every minute of it.
For Linda K, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.